Hello, and welcome to another episode of the D Shift podcast. And today we have something that we're going to talk about that is near and dear to my heart. And I think it's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. And that is about your finances and your financial future. So I have an expert today who I have had the privilege of meeting a couple of times at different events. And I think she just has a wealth of knowledge. So Sally Gimon is the designer of the Circle of Wealth, 5 simple steps. And I am dying to hear about how I need to get lined out with my finances in 5 simple steps. So, Sally, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here. I know we've had some scheduling difficulties. I have to apologize.
That's okay. Life happens. That's one thing that we can all relate to that. So,
Yes.
Sally, tell us a little bit about what got you into this, where your background is, your kind of your area of expertise. And I know you have a big passion for helping people with their finances. So, the floor is yours. Take it away.
True story. My mom and dad drove from Phoenix, Arizona to Charlotte for a wedding. My mom got sick along the way. She got septic of the blood. Thank God my dad was a retired officer. I was in charge of going through their mail and everything else. And in November, I opened up the mail, and her hospital bill for the month of October was over $179,000. I mean, I can remember where I was, what I was wearing, everything, because I knew she was covered, but I had nothing saved for retirement. It got me galvanized. I mean, I had to start doing something. That night, I called a friend of mine who I knew was in real estate. He's like, come to a meeting. I started investing in real estate February 2019. Loved it. Got very much involved with it. I am an insurance agent, and I'm curious. And I found out about infinite banking, which is the secret of the rich to pay down debt. It's a very specialized, sophisticated whole life policy that famous people like Ray Kroc paid off his two of his investors and started Ronald McDonald. Walt Disney used it to buy the land in Anaheim. I started teaching that, and then one of my real estate deals I dealt with, I bought at $20,000, and I was going to sell at $50,000 at auction when COVID lifted, and that was going to be $30,000 that I have to pay capital gains on. So I started putting together things, and with the circle of wealth that we're talking about, it's everything I use to A, pay off my debt, B, set up myself up for retirement. And then when I was putting this together, my friend Veronica said, forget about the $100 board, tell people about $10, which is so much easier to deal with. I love Little Caesars pizza, so I can't buy Little Caesars one week. I can get on the board.
Gotcha. And I've got to tell you, as somebody who came from Canada down here in the United States, saw my husband's medical bill of $275,000 for a month and a half, and that didn't even count the next 3 months of physiotherapy that he went through.
Wow.
Yeah, that sticker shock. It was like I remember standing down at the mailbox and crying because I was like, I have no idea how to pay for this, how to deal with this. So,
And you want him to get the best care because you
yeah,
love him.
yeah. And so this is an ongoing thing for a lot of people, and it doesn't have to be medical bills. Divorce does it to some people.
The
Loss of a
car
job,
accident.
COVID, right? We were just talking about
Yes.
COVID before we got on here. So
Yes.
so these financial crises can happen to people who have planned very well, they haven't done bad things. They're not throwing their money away and buying crazy things and going on luxury vacations. Very hardworking, very honest working people just get wiped out from these kind of things on
Yes.
a regular daily basis. So talk a little bit. I'm intrigued about the infinity banking, that, but I'm also really intrigued about 5 simple steps because
Mhm.
5 and simple are things that I really like to hear together. So
Okay. I'm a student of Bob Proctor's, and the first step is the question he always asks: A, can you do it? B, will you do it? I'm amazed. I presented this to 2 Baptist churches here in North Carolina, and my first night, 3 people got up and walked out. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to show you how to do something, but that's your decision. So that's step one. Step two, if you remember back in Christmas of 2016, the fires in Tennessee, Dolly Parton was giving all the families $15,000 apiece. This way, they didn't have to pay taxes on it. I had never heard of this gift giving program before, but a friend of mine, Veronica Grant, got me involved. We were talking about COVID. My background in real estate was working with notes. I'm the mortgage on the house, and three of my homes stopped paying me all of a sudden, and it was over $2,000 I wasn't receiving. I'm like, Veronica's like, get on this board, recruit your two people, start doing this. Veronica knew I was putting this together, and she said, "Here's another one that's just $10. Recruit three people. You're good. It's two levels, two boards. Four. There's four parts in each board. The first board, when you get done, you put $10 in. You gift it $10. It's IRS says a person can gift up to $16,000 in 2022. They just changed the law for 2023. They can be up to 17,000. So they have a computer program to make sure you never hit that level. You recruit your three people. That those three people pay $10, give $10 up. You put the $10 back in your pocket. You're at zero. The next $20 go to the next board. When you finish the first board, four levels, you'll have over $7,500 in your pocket to start paying down debt, credit cards, car payments, student loans, mortgages. A sad statistic I tell people, Bankrate.com in November 2011 said that 80% of Americans have more than $90,000 in debt and are not saving for retirement. I just came from a real estate meeting last Thursday, stopped at Chick-fil-A after 9 o'clock at night because I'm starving. The woman working the window, I'm not trying to make fun of her, was over 75 years old, working in a fast food place at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night. That shouldn't happen here. She should be home with buddy slippers on or something like that. So that's the second step. You'll get involved with this, get involved with the gift giving tree. I help recruit the three people, but everyone does their job. The boards move faster. The third step, if you ever read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's got the four quadrants. So you're going from 75% of people are employees, then self-employed, then you run a business, and then you're an investor. I'm in self-employed, I run businesses, and I'm an investor. So the third step is apply for an infant banking policy. It is a whole life policy. There is a physical. It does take about 3 months to get things, go through the physical, get things, everything taken care of. You can start with as little as $500 a month, which is $6,000 a year. As soon as you put money into it, the first year's the hardest. You're at 62%. So you put in 500, you get about $320 back. Cash value, you never have to pay that back. You start paying it down to your highest debt. So you're going to continue doing that. With the slide deck that people get, it's an actual policy of a 42-year-old male to show how it works. That's step 3. Step 4, start a business. In the slide deck, I have 3 businesses I'm dealing with. One, it's Sally Still Silver. Silver is a commodity. It's in our cell phones. It's in pacemakers. It's in solar panels. I just bought a Charlie Brown coin for all my nieces and nephews for Christmas because on the other side of it, it has Sally Brown. I'm like, yes, Aunt Sally's giving you a coin. But so these are just ideas. Here's what I do. Follow me. Step 4. I'm very much into real estate. Take the $7,500 that you have at the end of the first board. Take $2,000. Purchase the 11 essential classes on real estate. Know what a contract is. Know what a wholesale deal is. Know how to do things correctly. Because the worst thing you do is get into a real estate deal and it goes south. I've been involved 22 notes. Only one of my notes has gone, I foreclosed on a few of the notes, but only one of my real estate deals has gone negative. That's one too many for me. So I'm suggesting learn about real estate. You're going to continue going through keep going through the boards. First board, you have $7,500. The second board, same levels, but at a zero behind it. By the time you finish the second board, you're going to have over $76,000 in your pocket. It's a lot of money. One of the things that I'm concerned with people running their own business or in real estate or crypto, capital gains are 23.8% on your profits. So again, going back to my house in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, I researched that and I was able to find a specialized trust that defers capital gains into infinity, keeps your information private, and keeps you completely judgment-proof. It's expensive. It's $20,500 for business trust and $20,500 for the beneficial trust. Both of them together is $37,000. So it's a lot of money for people to come up with. But if you're doing the circle, you're going to continue rotating through the boards. That $10 just keeps going. You're going to go back over and over again, getting more and more money. And maybe you don't want to be a real estate investor. Maybe you don't want to get silver. Maybe you just want to be on the board. Get some hope. $10. Stop going to Starbucks twice in 1 week. Put $10 in and start paying down your debt. Paying off the high credit cards, paying off. I have one of my people who's with the infinite banking policy. His 2020, think of a Dodge Ram 250 truck. Loved his truck. He didn't know his interest rate was at 29.8%. When he found his wife was afraid he was going to commit suicide when he started looking at the paperwork. So they have the infinite banking policy, and now they're in the gift giving tree to pay down things even faster, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so that's a lot of information. One of the things that kind of comes to my mind, and I'm going to go back to the very beginning, because I think, good old Bernie Madoff kind of made us all really leery of these kind of things. So explain how this work, the recruitment and because I think, a lot of people hearing that are going to go, their spidey senses start tingling. Yeah.
To tell you the truth, the first program I got involved was $100, recruit 2 people. I set up 3 seats, myself, my Roth IRA, and my business. My dad bought 2 seats. He recruited he bought 2 seats. One was for his reverse mortgage, and one was for my father loved to travel. So my father unfortunately got COVID. He passed away in November 2021.
I'm sorry.
He was missing my mom, but his bank was Armed Forces Bank on Luke Air Force Base. I couldn't get onto the base to shut it down. I knew his boards were moving, things like this. We got the money, everything else. As I'm sitting at Sky Harbor Airport flying back to North Carolina, my dad's account had $56,000 in it from moving through the boards. I gave $15,000 to each one of my brothers, and I said, "You guys didn't believe me when I asked you to join this then. Now take $100 and join now." You've got to study the boards. You got to make sure they're legal and everything else. With what happens, it goes to another website called Our Own Resources. They've been around since April 2022. It's a newer board. They have seminars every single week. They have on Clubhouse. They have it on Zoom. They have people to talk to. You want to do the research to make sure it's correct. I personally have done the research. I've brought family members in. I brought friends in. I want to make sure they're not going to get ripped off by Bernie Madoff. One thing in Arizona, we had Keating, Michael, I forget his name, first name. I know people who lost all their investments with Keating 5, and it's scary. You want to make sure you're doing things correct on everything.
And that can, let's face it, that can happen in any kind of investment.
Right.
I recall, I'm trying to think of what it was. There was a big oil company up in Canada where people were buying stocks in it. And this was like in the 80s. And it turned out to be a big scam. So you really have to do your research. So I appreciate that this is not just, hey, just go out and join one of these groups. You have to really make sure that you are working with somebody that's on the up and up.
One of the things, I'm not sure if many people in the United States use WhatsApp, but they have a WhatsApp group, and they're like, we've got a meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning. We've got a meeting 7 o'clock tonight, and they're giving you the schedules so you can talk to other people, make sure you're doing things correctly.
Right.
My friend Veronica, who brought me in, she's on quite a few different boards. In some of her boards, the number one question I get is, what if someone drops out? That is a question. I don't know why they would drop out, but if I brought them in, it's my responsibility to replace them. I haven't had anyone drop out yet, but that is a problem there. But so far, I've done very well on both on the new board and on the old board. Both boards I've done well with.
Okay. And what about the real estate part of it? Because I think that's something that, a lot of people, especially going through divorce, they may get some real estate as part of this, or
have to pay for real estate. They have to find a new place to move to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so quite often, a lot of the couples are living in a home that they may be upside down in. So what's going to happen is that property is going to be sold, the creditors will be paid. And then if there is any equity left, which there probably won't be, but when people want to start investing in real estate, can you, and I know this is an area of passion for you, your
Yes.
expertise. What are some things to look for? And I'm guessing, I'm going to throw this out there. It's not buy junk houses and try to flip them, right?
How I was telling you about my three houses that stopped paying me when COVID started. Um, when you have the note, you're paying for the mortgage and people pay you back. All of a sudden, when Fannie Mae stopped, said you didn't have to pay your mortgage anymore, my three notes stopped paying me. And I'm like, wow, it was over $2,300 a month. I all of a sudden just disappeared on me. Unfortunately, when things got lifted, one was in Tennessee, so it was a forfeiture. One was in Indiana, that was a foreclosure. Things, there's steps to do, but the main thing for real estate that I honestly want people to understand, you have to know what you're doing. This is why I'm suggesting get the 11 classes. You can watch them on your phone. You can watch them on your computer. On Monday nights, the classes are usually about 32 segments. And on Monday night, they have a live instructor who will discuss this is the class we're doing, and we're doing the first part of the class, and they're teaching the class. You don't have to use the real estate education I have is called Renata's, but I have good friends in it. I work with my people, with my friends in the group. There's checks and balances. If someone doesn't pay you back, their name becomes mud. So
Right.
there's things like that. I worked with someone contacted me. I forget what day it was. It was a Sunday, last Sunday of August. So let's say it was Sunday, August 27th. She needed money to stop an auction for September 1st. I less than $22,000. We stopped the auction. We're going to sell the house to October 31st for $125,000 to split the profit. I mean she did the work. I just had to wire the money.
Right.
It's fast, easy money. I don't want to say it's fast and easy. She had to do a lot of research, and we had to find someone to buy the house. But you can make money in real estate if you know what you're doing. If
And
that makes
and I
sense.
want to I want to throw that out there because what Sally just said is really critical. You've got to do the work and you've got to have the education because
Yes.
there's a lot of these come to Bob's real estate course, downtown Dallas at the Sheraton, and we'll give you a free lunch and you get a free
And
beer
you never see them again.
and we're
Yeah.
going to teach you how to flip houses and you pay $1,000 to go to that, and they give you a bunch of handouts and say, off you go. You can make, hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. And no, you can't. Unless there's
Unless you know it,
grants. Yeah,
and again, with my real estate education, you get to talk to somebody. It's I'll be honest, it's $2,000. It's a lot, but you do get that. Hey, look at my real estate deal. Is this going over correctly?
right.
And you've got people supporting you, or people saying, "Oh, step away. Maybe it's not a good deal." We have 5 days a week a morning call where you can bring any real estate deal you want, and you know the whole consensus talks about it. Is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Things like this. Making sure you're making the right decision, because right now interest rates are going up,
Yeah,
and people have equity in their homes, but they're scared. They don't
yeah,
know. Inflation's happening. People don't know where they're going, if that makes sense. And
yeah.
you want to make the right decision. You don't want to be caught paying too much for a house and not being able to sell it correctly and things like that.
Exactly. And as you so correctly put there, sometimes you get a great deal on a property, you buy it, you turn around, you make a big profit, and then you're looking at capital gains tax, and
Exactly.
you're looking at getting your rates messed around with what you're going to pay. So, do you have any insight into any of that you could?
Just I do a mastermind in my real estate group about the infinite banking and the spendthrift trust. And one of my friends, he wants to be the poster child for me. He's a retired preacher from New Hampshire. Back in March of 2021, fourth time he door knocked on the house. He found the daughter. The father unfortunately had passed away. They were behind on the mortgage. Her car was a 1997 Honda Accord, so she was waiting to leave that night, to drive back to California, to cross the desert. He got her to sign the paperwork. He got to stop the auction. He made $50,000. He sat in my course 3 separate times. Kelly knows what the capital gains are. He paid off bills, everything else. He did his taxes in July for 2021. found out he owes $900 a month to the IRS and he's driving Uber 6 nights a week. Pour salt into his wounds. His wife fell down the stairs, broke her hip. He's got his grown children have to come stay with her while he's driving Uber in case she's got to do something or do. And he's just like, I sat in on your class. He goes, $900 a month. That's a lot of money to
Yeah.
pay to the IRS for something. He's like, I spent the $50,000 back in April 2021. I don't have that money now. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to get the word out to as many people as possible.
Okay. And I think that's super important. And this is, I mean, this is a big topic. So, a
Yes.
20-minute discussion, we're not going to even basically touch the iceberg, but or the tip of the iceberg. But what I want people to hear that there are options out there that are not they're not just invest in stocks and bonds and play the money market and get some, what are those NFTs now that everybody's buying, or you don't have to invest in that stuff. There's real stuff that you can invest in that's maybe a little bit, I'm not going to say alternative, because certainly real estate is not alternative, but that may not be something that's top of the mind, but there are options. So Sally, from all the stuff that you've shared, and you are so knowledgeable, I'm sure you could go
Thank you. I
on for a lot
appreciate that.
longer on this. What do you want people to walk away from this and think about?
I want them to do something. I talk about my morning calls. There's usually about 40 to 60 people on that call. And if you go through the pictures on Zoom, only 10 or 12 people have done a real estate deal in 2022. It's scary. It's scary to step out and do something. But as Nike says, just do it. Just do something. And if all you do is put $10 on the gift giving tree, you've done something.
Yeah, you've got it started. You got the ball rolling. So, Sally,
Exactly.
if people want to learn more about this, and again, I want to encourage you that to reach out to Sally, because she does have a wealth of information. You don't have to buy anything or use anything or
No,
do anything. Just start to get that knowledge together and take a look at what resonates with you, what makes you feel comfortable, what you think might work for you. So, Sally, if people want to get hold of you and learn more about this and your 5 simple steps, what's the best way to get hold of you?
the website is www.learnwithsallymarie.com. My full name is Sally Marie. My mom always called me that. When I went to like, learn with Sally, it was taken. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'll use my full name, Sally Marie. So um,
Okay.
it's the PDF. It's 15 slides telling about the different steps. One of the slides that I think is super important are 7 books that I really think every person should read. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Science of Getting Rich, Napoleon Hill's, I just forgot his title.
I was going to say it's that Napoleon Hill book, and then you said Napoleon Hill, and now I can't think of it either.
Yeah, The Science of Getting Rich is Wallace D. Waddles. I'm a slow reader. If I can read it in 2 hours, somebody else can read it in 90 minutes easily. Think and Grow Rich
Yeah,
is
that's what
the
it
other one.
is. Yes, yeah,
And the most expensive real estate, unfortunately, Marjorie, is the 6 inches between your ears. I mean, understand what you're doing. A sad statistic that I heard is that Americans don't even read 1 book a year. That is just, I mean, don't let your mind go to
yeah,
putty. That's
yeah,
the worst thing you could do.
yeah, yep. Put down the TV and pick up a book. Or
Yeah,
as my dad, my
yes.
dad always used to call it the boob tube. I don't know if that was like a what.
Well, as a kid, my mom didn't let us watch Happy Days because the Fonz was rude to adults. So I mean, we had very strict TV privileges. So yes,
Well, there you go. We all have weird family lessons, don't we?
yes,
Sally, thank you so much for being on the program. And you have,
I
like I said,
appreciate.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing all this information. And I'm going to encourage people reach out to Sally. All her information is going to be in the show notes, and we certainly look forward to hearing more about this. And hopefully, people will follow up with you, Sally. So,
I
thank you so
appreciate the
much.
time. Thank you. Bye bye.